Hello and welcome back to another video. For this you're going to need 2 cloves of garlic, 3 onions, I chose 2 white, 1 red, some mushrooms, 3 bell peppers, a bag of minced soy, I only used half of it. I put 1 can of tomatoes, but you actually need 2, and I used some Italian seasoning and some olive oil. First of all, you just prepare all your vegetables and make sure to cut them up very small. So it will fit inside the cannelloni tubes, which you will also need. Sorry I didn't show them in the beginning. So yeah, just make sure to cut up everything and so it's a uniform shape and size. As you can see, it has to be very small. And now onto the onion, I just cut off both the ends. And then again just make it very small. And for the cloves, just peel them and then cut it up and try and make these even smaller just so they spread more better basically, and it's not so overpowering. So then in a separate smaller pan you're going to use half of the bag of minces from Tesco, but I think you can also get from Asda and other places, but not the corn brand because that's not vegan. And then I just put some salt and pepper and some Italian seasoning on this, and then just let that fry up whilst you start cooking the vegetables. So in the pan just use about a tablespoon of olive oil or some water if you don't want to use oil, and I just sprinkled some salt, pepper and some more Italian seasoning as well. And then just stir this around so all of the oil is covered with the flavour, and wait for that to fry up. And then I add my garlic next, and then make sure to stir this around so it gets flavoured, and it will flavour everything else as well. And then just add your diced onion, and then just fry that up until it's translucent. And I speed this up because I just added the bell peppers and then the mushrooms up, and just remember to stir everything around and until it's done basically, and you keep stirring the mince as well so it doesn't burn on one side. Now you add the tin tomatoes, and then I add a second can now as well. And now mix the mince into the sauce. And now onto the bechamel ingredients. You need 1 litre of soya milk, a 1/3 cup of flour and a 1/3 cup of olive oil, and also some salt and pepper. First of all, you let the milk heat up in a pan until it boils. And just remember to keep stirring that. And whilst you're doing that, you're going to add your 1/3 cup of flour with a 1/3 cup of olive oil into a separate larger saucepan on medium heat, and you just stir this together and cook it for about 5 minutes until it's all combined and starts to thicken. And make sure to keep on stirring to avoid getting any lumps. And now I swapped the pans around so I could use a larger hob, and as you can see it will start to thicken before you add the milk. And then what I do is I just add a little bit to start with, whisk this up together so then it'll be easier to add the rest after, and then just add a little bit more, it just in stages. And now you can add the remaining milk. And then you just stir this up so it's all combined. and you let it keep whisking it until it comes to a boil. I also add some salt and pepper now to give it more flavour, and just keep stirring that until it begins to boil, and it will also start to thicken up as well. Now when that's done, you can start filling your cannelloni tubes. Lay them out like how you want to prepare it already, and then the bolognese type of mixture should now be quite cooler than it was before, so I just use like a little spoon and just try and get it in the hole, and some will fill out, but it doesn't matter because you're going to put some on top of it anyway, because I always have left over. So just try and fill them as much as you can. And then this is the last one. And now, to not let it go to waste, I just pour the remaining like bolognese type sauce over the cannelloni tubes, and it just adds like another layer as well, which I think is quite nice. Then just flatten this out to leave a level plane for the bechamel sauce to go on top. So what you want to do is, before you do it, just remember to give it a whisk up, because it would have created like a film on top. So just whisk that up a little bit more, and it should be like nice and thick now. And then just spoon the mix over the top of the sauce basically until it's all covered. Okay, then you're going to want to bake this for 180 degrees for about 30 minutes, and then after that I thought I'd put some cheese on top of it. So this is just a little bit of vegan cheese that I got from Holland & Barrett. I can't actually remember the brand, but I made it after this recently without the cheese, and I think it actually tastes a bit better. So I wouldn't really advise doing this, but this is what I did for when I made this version. So I took it out, I just cut up some of the skin because it had created like a film on top, and then I just added like little pieces of the cheese in and let it cook for about another 10 minutes. And then this is the final one, but as I said, this is not necessary. And then just plate up, and it should be very nice, hopefully, and the pasta goes tender, and it just works very well together. It's one of my most favourite dishes to make. Okay, well, bye.